Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to start our English grammar, Standard 8 English grammar. Since we don't have a textbook, the topics we will be covering will be based on your 9th and 10th grammar portions. I want you all to have a separate notebook for grammar and write all what is there in the videos given. Now, let us move to the first chapter, determiners. What is a determiner? Determiner is a word that introduces a noun. It always comes before a noun, not after, and it also comes before any other adjective used to describe the noun. Let me repeat it. Determiner is a word that introduces a noun. So determiner is a word that introduces a noun, and it always comes before a noun and not after it. And it can also come before any other adjective used to describe the noun. Now let us see the example. Many people are involved in this case. Here, people is a noun. Many is a determiner. So where does the determiner come? It comes before the noun people. Many people are involved in this case. Now let us move to the different kinds of determiners. The first one, articles a and the. Second one, demonstrative, this, that, these, those. Third one, possessive, my, our, his, her, your. Distributive, each, every, neither, either. Quantifier, some, any, much, several, a few, a little. Numbers 1, 2, 40, second, 24th, etc. Interrogative, what, which, and whose. Now we'll start off with articles. Now since we have learned about articles from standard 4 onwards, I'm not going to deal with the definition of articles. I'm just going to start away with what are the two types of articles and what are its functions. First, let me start with indefinite articles. What are the two indefinite articles? A and an. A and an are called indefinite articles. The main function of the indefinite article is to show that the noun it precedes does not refer to any person or a thing. So it does not precede or refer to a particular person or a thing. I have a book here. It is not any particular book. It's just a book. The third point is it is not used before uncountable nouns. Remember, a or an is not used before uncountable nouns, but at times can be used to convey the sense of countable noun. It's usually not used before uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are those nouns which cannot be counted, but at times can be used to convey the sense of countable noun. Example, give me a coffee means give me a cup of coffee. Now, when and where do you use a or an? These are the few points given. Please write it down in your notebook. The first point, a or an are used before singular countable nouns. It is used before singular countable nouns when mentioned for the first time. So remember, a or an are used before singular countable nouns when mentioned for the first time. Example, I saw a magician. He was doing tricks. This is a countable noun here, magician, and we have used the article a. But when you're saying about the same magician in the next the continuation sentence, we use instead of a magician, we use the word he there. Okay. So the first point is before singular countable noun, we use a or an. The second point, before units of price, speed, measurements and weights. Second point is a or an is used before units of price, speed, measurements and weights. Example, rupees 50 a liter, rupees 100 a kilo. So a is used before the price and also the weights. The third point is before certain numbers to express quantity and frequency. It's used before, a or an is used before certain numbers or to express quantity or frequency. The first example, 100. It's certain numbers, right? 100, a million. Second, a few, a little, a couple of, a great deal of. Like a few, a little, a couple of, a great deal of expresses quantity. The third one is frequency, 1 tablet a day, twice a year, once a month. That denotes frequency. So the third point is a or an is used before certain numbers to express quantity and frequency. The fourth point is it's used in exclamatory expressions. Let's see the example. What a beautiful sight. It is used, a or a is used before in the exclamatory sentence. So a or an can be used in an exclamatory sentence also. Now next, an is used before singular countable noun which begins with vowel sounds. An is used before singular countable nouns which begins with vowel sounds. The initial sound rather than the spelling determines whether a or an should be used. See, the initial sound of the word determines whether a or an should be used. It's not the spelling. The sound of the word determines whether a or an should be used. See, for example, here, before that, you know what the vowels are, right? A, E, I, O, U. Here, when you see here in the example, a union, here actually this word begins with a vowel letter, but the sound is different of that of a vowel sound. So instead of using an union, we use a union. The next example, a European, a unit, a 1 rupee coin. All these initial sounds are not of a vowel sound, so we use a. Now, coming to the next one, we can see from the above examples that all these words begin with vowel letters, but not with the vowel sound. So that is the explanation for that example. Now, coming to the next example, an MLA, an MP, an R, an honest man. See here, all the letters or the words beginning are with consonant letters. But we have used an instead because the pronunciation or the initial sound is that of the uh, vowel sound. So instead of using a, we have used an. Here, even though the sound begins with word begins with consonant letters, we use an because of the vowel sound. So these are the few points of where a or an should be used. Now where you should not use a or an, that is the next point, where you should not use a or an before all plural nouns. First point is before all plural nouns. You will not write a children because children is already plural. So before that you will not write a. So a or an is not used before all plural nouns. The second point, before names of meals. Before names of meals. We will only say lunch is ready. We will not say a lunch is ready or an lunch is ready. We will not use a or an before names of meals. And the third point is before uncountable nouns. A or an are not used before uncountable nouns. Now, that was indefinite articles a and an. Now coming to the definite article. What is a definite article? The is the definite article. We use the before countable singular and plural nouns. We use the before singular and plural nouns. Now we start where the is used. First point, before a noun that shows a particular rank or position. First point is before a noun that shows a particular rank or position. For example, the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister is the position held by the leader of the country. So we use the word the captain, the general. So this all shows a particular rank or position. So before that word we use the article the. Second point, before a common noun that has already been introduced in the context, any further reference to the same noun is made by using the article the. So let me explain it to you. Before a common noun that has already been introduced in the context, any further reference to the same noun, when you're referring to the same noun given in the first sentence, when you're writing the second time, you will use the article the. Example, a hare and a tortoise decided to have a race. Here, the common nouns are hare and tortoise, but when you come to the second sentence, you will see the tortoise defeated the hare. Instead of using a tortoise again, we particularized on that tortoise. So in the second sentence, when it comes, we use the article the. The third point is before the names of rivers, seas, oceans, mountains, and deserts. I hope we have learned all this in 7th standard. We have done all this, but let me repeat to you. Before the names of rivers, seas, oceans, mountains, and deserts. Example, the Ganga, the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean, the Himalayas, and the Thar Desert. So in front of all the names of these rivers or seas, oceans, mountains, and desert, we use the article the. The fourth point, before unique or celestial bodies. Before unique or celestial bodies. The sun, the moon, the universe, because there is only one of its kind. Next point, before the names of newspapers, magazines, etc. Example, the Hindustan Times, the Times of India. All this, before that we use the article the. Before the name of well-known buildings. Before the name of well-known buildings. Example, the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort. So before all these well-known buildings also we add the article the. Now, before the names made up of two proper nouns. Now, before the names made up of two proper nouns, the United Kingdom, the United States of America. So it's because a club of countries together we use the word the United Kingdom, the United States of America. Before the adjectives that present a class. Before the adjectives that represent a class. Example, the rich, the poor, the bold. Here the adjectives rich, before that adjective we use the article the. A last point, before the ordinal numbers that show the date, position, etc. Before the ordinal numbers that show the date, position, etc. For example, the 8th August 2019. So we are specifying on a particular date, so we write the article the 8th August 2019, or we can say the first child in the third row. So a particular child sitting in the third row, the first child sitting in the third row. So these are the these are the places where you use the article the. Now coming to where you should not use the article the, where you are not supposed to use the article the. Before proper nouns, before proper nouns, we usually don't say the Raj, the Shiv. It's just names. We just say their names, right? We usually don't give a article the in front of it. We usually say their names only. Second, before abstract nouns. We know what abstract nouns are. Before abstract nouns also we don't use the article the. Water, how do you say water is precious or water is the precious? We say water is precious and not the precious. The third point, before the names of games. Example, cricket, football. We don't say the cricket, the football. The fifth point, before the words that show relations. Example, mother, brother, sister. We don't use the in front of these words like the mother, the brother, or the sister. We just say she's my mother. We don't say she's my the mother. We don't usually say that. We just say she's my mother. Before material nouns and names of languages. Before material nouns and names of languages. Example, silver, gold. We usually don't say the silver, the gold. And also for the languages, we just say Hindi, Gujarati, English. We don't use the article the before it. So what we learned in this class is what are the indefinite article, what is indefinite article, indefinite articles, and what is the definite article. And next we will be dealing with the other kinds of determiners. Thank you.